My subreddit, again, revolting against me. What are these people doing? This is like the third post like this. Women good, actually. Vaush needs to do a better job making his community more hospitable to women. A good step in the right direction would be stopping with the ironic misogyny. He could also do more video topics that apply more to women, such as talking about women's issues on the dating scene or in online communities in general. I definitely think Vaush community is overflowing with young cis men which tend to act the most obnoxious. I think Vaush appealing more to women would make the community a bit more chill and less of a lefty DGG offshoot. I don't know what this has to do with being a DGG offshoot. Does Destiny make Yeah, I guess he does. Imagine unironically being a cis man in VGG. Yeah, seriously. What are you people doing? We gotta get the vibes. We gotta investigate what's going on. Wow. This comment section is absolute shit! That's amazing. I totally agree with the OP. What do you do? Cats! Whatever. Vaush is a political streamer who talks about lefty political issues. He's like the second biggest political streamer. Thank you. Completely ignoring a political issue is bad, because commenting on these issues is part of a... No, why'd you let the cats in here? He should have the responsibility and have a duty to be informed on feminist issues and talk about them. Again, because it's his job. There is no excuse for this. Stop making excuses for this. To be clear, I'm not trying to cancel him or be mad at anyone. It's a good faith criticism. Guys, I appreciate the end bit there to remind me that it's not a bad faith criticism. I don't know. Do we tear into this, or do we try to be calm? Which do you think we try? Lightly charitable? Be calm? Ooh. All right. Excuse me, this is a trans-inclusive radical chauvinist community. Nice. I agree with you, OP, even if you stop the women bad jokes and invited more women's issues experts on. For discussions, I think it would be appreciated. You're so right. I have recommended Vaush to several of my lefty girlfriends, and didn't like his content exactly because of those ironic femoid bad jokes. They don't have videos or anything like that. Really uncomfortable to watch the kind of humor present, etc., etc. Okay, that tracks. Honestly, there's a lot of immaturity in the way he runs his channel. True. He's too concerned with being edgy and dank instead of actually educating. It's really turned me off of him since the Charlie Kirk debate, which was really informative. But I think that exposed a huge contrast between the style, that style, and the style he uses on his channel. Oh, I don't like this one at all. It'd be cool if he talked with an informed feminist sometime about women's struggles in daily life. Damn, people are being super weird in the comments. The idea that Vaush isn't qualified to speak on women's issues is ridiculous. True! Nobody is more qualified to speak on women's issues than me. It is known. All right, we got to talk. I think I talk about women's issues. But like, leaving aside the ironic misogyny, I do feel like I touch on feminist issues pretty much non-stop, don't I? I usually talk about it, like, when it affects men more often, because every other fucking lefty online pretty much only talks about feminist issues in relationship to women. But I feel like I still touch on them pretty often. One of the reasons why I focus a lot on, like, the men's side of this stuff, like incel shit or, like, dating or whatever, is because I feel like I'm trying to compensate for what is otherwise a massive bias towards only addressing the women's sides of these issues. I don't think that's bad, right? I mean, I think that's fine, especially since the rest of the left seems like so dedicated to only discussing that from like a women's perspective, I guess, but still feels a little off. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess I just don't feel that way. It feels like nobody else in the left sphere is very good. Well, Contra's good, but for the most part, I feel like a lot of people in the left space are really bad at talking about men's issues. But men's issues are feminist issues, so... Completely ignoring a political issue is bad because commenting on these issues is part of his job. This is kind of stupid. Nobody... First of all, I am not completely ignoring any political issue with regards to women's rights. Second of all, nobody is obligated to comment on every single issue taking place. So this part is wrong, and this part implies something that is also wrong. Do I completely ignore feminism, you know? He should have the responsibility and have a duty to be informed on feminist issues and talk about them. Like, in what way? I guess I just want to know, like, what issues do you want me to talk about, right? Yeah, I don't really know. I guess I don't know. I think most non-male breadtubers unironically hate men. I don't know about breadtubers, but I think a lot of the online left do hate men. You seem like you don't know a lot about women's issues. I guess I would challenge anyone to think of, like, an issue, like, guys, is there any, like, miss I've ever had on women's issues? Like, being real, I mean, I feel like every time I talk about them, I mean, like, people talk about me like I never do. I feel like I'm pretty consistent with that stuff, you know? I mean, I'm sure I have at some point, but, nice meme. Even if he stopped the women bad jokes and invited more women's issues experts on for discussions, I think it would be appreciated. I think this is cringe. Guys, if your default solution to perceived bias in a content creator is to tell them to invite more of a minority group on, I don't know. I don't know if that fixes anything. Yeah, if you want to see more women, go watch women streamers and women YouTubers, you know? Yeah, I'm not going to tokenize women by inviting them on as some kind of, like, shield against criticisms for my misogyny, you know? I think that's really weird. You can, if you want to see, like, women talk about this stuff, there are literally thousands of them online doing it right now, you know? You can hit them up. You know what I mean? I totally get this. Some people might be uncomfortable with the memes. There's a lot of immaturity in the way he runs his channel. He's too concerned with being edgy and dank instead of actually educating. Couldn't you also phrase this as, I'm just being myself? Isn't authenticity supposed to be one of the big pluses of the live streaming community? It's not like concerned with being edgy and dank. I do the same shit in person. Guys, it's not like my birth through 2018. I was like super clean and never made edgy jokes, and then like I stream and I'm like, okay, time to be performatively edgy. I mean, yeah, it's been a pretty consistent thing. I just don't like the implication that it's disingenuous, you know? The Charlie Kirk debate wasn't informative. What you're thinking of is it was calm. The Charlie Kirk debate really wasn't informative. We touched on the surface level of, like, every issue. I go more informative in any segment on my channel than in the Charlie Kirk debate. Any conversation with a conservative is not even going to be 101 stuff. It's going to be 100 stuff, you know? What you're thinking of is that it was calm and measured. I think you might be more interested in the aesthetics of professionalism than actual, like, education, you know? It'd be cool if we talk with an informed feminist sometime about women's struggles in daily life. I'm literally an informed do you think feminist only means women? What are you implying? Yeah. There is a post about this on here every day. Irish Laddie, do you have anything to say about this? And this is the only reason I saw this, by the way, because I was shitting 15 minutes ago and I saw this ping on my phone. I don't know if he's going to ban everyone here or say good take and adopt the suggestion, but good luck. Hope you don't get 1984. Stay fearful, my friends. Vaush can grow larger if he changes his content and makes his community more hospitable to women. Wait, when has making your community hospitable to women ever helped the growth of YouTubers? Don't edgy boy YouTubers, I'm pretty sure some of the biggest YouTubers engage in I'm just saying, I feel like the market has rewarded misogyny a lot. Maybe I need to tone it up a little bit. But yeah, no, I get it. Like Curtis Connor or whatever. But dude, Curtis Connor does it the opposite. Curtis Connor shit talks dudes. In Curtis Connor's, like, TikTok review videos, he'll, like, talk down men the exact same way I talk down women, except it's not ironic. He'll do it in, like, the male feminist, like, performatively compensating for the sociological problems with men way, you know? At least when I do it with women, it's ironic, right? It's just more acceptable to dunk on men from the left than it is to dunk on women, you know? He totally does, right? Not even true, dude? Guys, have you watched Curtis Connor? Come on, you know that he does that. He usually has good takes, though, and I don't. He does do that, though. He does dunk on men. He usually goes for toxic dudes, though. He talks about men. He does criticize men. Yeah, men who are actively being trash. My guys, I've watched the videos. He'll watch trashy men and then talk about men. You know? Like, you know how anti-SJWs will watch, like, crazy feminists and then talk about, like, women? He does that. He does do that. It's just more acceptable to dunk on men. He just makes it clear it's not all men. Yeah, which means he's making an actual talking point, isn't he? At least when I say femoid bad, what am I even implying there? I don't actually make arguments. Yeah, he's literally said all dudes are trash, hasn't he? I'm pretty sure he said that, or something at least approximating that talking point. What does making satirical jokes about women accomplish, though? It makes me happy. Is there any disadvantage to getting rid of them? Yeah, I'll be less happy. Funny, because Curtis Connor is a very popular video titled "Are Men Trash?" He argues, yes, any men arguing against that are trash, and was well received by his female audience. Normal liberal feminist, polar opposite, healthy masculinity. In the Men Are Trash video, obviously acknowledge that it's not all men. The conclusion is men don't behave poorly like these examples. Yeah, it just feels like he makes joke videos. Oh, so the irony is excusable in that direction. Guys, you really don't think that people dunk on men a lot from the left? Not to the same extent, but I've seen some ironic homophobia as well. Dude, I'm pan. I get to make gay jokes. Fuck you. If I say, damn, this shit sure is gay, I'm allowed to. Sorry. That's my goddamn right. Okay? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, y'all are really showing your asses right now with men. Always erasing my queerness. Yeah, I don't know. Do I just look straight? I guess I give straight energy a bit sometimes, yeah. So then it's okay to dunk on both men and women. So my logic has always been jokes are okay if you don't give arguments. That's in my mind. So the content that I produce is really, really progressive. So I figure that if you're watching me, you're probably at least like aware of the fact that I'm a feminist and that I have these positions on gender issues and that I'm a gender abolitionist and et cetera, et cetera. At least a lot of that stuff, right? So my thing is, I think jokes are okay as long as you're not enabling arguments that are made unironically against women, right? So here's the big difference to me, right? There's a really big difference between saying stuff like femoid bad, which, while it's a joke, isn't an argument. There's actually no substance to it. You can't use that to inform people's unironically bigoted positions. Maybe unironic bigots would hear that and agree with it if they are sexist, but it can't lend their arguments credence. Whereas there are some types of jokes about women where even if they're jokes, they do supply the same arguments as people who are unironically sexist. Somebody who goes on like a joking tirade about how like women suck because they always pretend to have headaches when you want to sleep with them, you know? Something like that. I feel like if you make that kind of argument and you do it in a way that like it's a joke but it kind of borders on the kinds of unironic arguments people might make, that might actually like lead people over. But Vaush, what if you replaced femoid with Jew? Would that also just be a joke? Yeah, I don't really think those are comparable. I think that the degree to which people are marginalized plays a really heavy role in the extent to which you can make these jokes, right? Also, the jokes that I make are informed by the fact that as a part of the left, we already have like a broader acceptance of feminism and in a way an almost overcompensatory obsession with prioritizing women. Are Jews more marginalized than women? In some ways, particularly with online, like, bigoted humor, yes. It's really complicated. But I'll put it this way. If you really think saying femoid bad is comparable to saying Jews bad, like, yeah, I feel like there are some very... feel like there are very different memes here. You know what I mean? Very, very big differences. Back out of this convo if you can to avoid the grief Lamal. It's too late for that, vermin. It's not that women aren't oppressed, because there are ways in which women are severely marginalized in the modern world. It's about the way in which your language is perceived and taken. So, being honest with you guys, I have seen basically no misogyny in my community. I understand that sounds ridiculous because there almost certainly has been, and I know that it's existed just fragmentally in its own ways, in the way that it does sort of everywhere. But in terms of, well, you can Pepe post all you want, but like unironically, I really do think that the community is, on the whole, like pretty positive about women, right? The issue is, I feel like if you start making like ironic alt-right jokes, that brings out a very different element of the community, especially since the femoid jokes are meant to be kind of like a satire, you know? So when I make like ironic jokes about women, first of all, using the term femoid is already like a self-dunk. If you're saying the term femoid in the context of a leftist stream, you're obviously making fun of the language that incels use about women. You know what I mean? Like, if for a person to be like a socialist, a feminist, a gender abolitionist, and then they're like, yeah, femoid's bad. Like, you're obviously parodying the language of people who have different political takes. You don't get that same energy with Jews bad. That's just not present. The satire isn't present either. Because in the left, on the left, there's a sort of imbalance in the dynamic with which we address and assess men's and women's issues with regards to feminism. That dichotomy, that dynamic, it doesn't really exist when it comes to anti-Semitic issues. There's not really a counterbalance to anti-Semitic issues that get addressed to a different degree. Yeah, so there's a really big difference in how these jokes are taken. Isn't this a little, how can I be sexist when I'm a leftist? Yes. Yes, you get more leeway to make jokes like that the more progressive you are. Just in the same way that people who are in the queer community get a lot more leeway in my book, with making jokes that might be homophobic in other contexts, you know? Don't you think there's a really big difference between watching TV with, like, your gay friend and watching it with your, like, I hate gay people uncle? And they both see a character on the TV who's, like, really effeminate, and they're both like, that guy's gay. Like, don't you think there's a difference there, you know? Even if the language and the tone is exactly the same from both of them, there's very clearly a different connotation depending on what you know about that person. Which is why being informed about an individual or the context of a group matters a lot when it comes to interpreting these jokes. You're forgetting something, Vaush. Nuance and context clues only matter when we're excusing saying toxic shit about men. How one of your own mods argued we can't criticize women whose views and expectations normalize toxic masculinity. I can't speak for my mods, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't fucking know, Tempest. Maybe at a family reunion or whatever. What point is there to making the joke? What is accomplished? Why do people keep asking that? Like every single thing out of my mouth is part of some kind of utilitarian calculus. You know what I mean? Like every word that I choose is optimized. I talk how I talk. I try to be reasonable with the stuff that I say, and I put thought into the things that I say. But like, what value is there in saying? I mean, what does that mean? I guess I would need to feel the harm a little bit. You know? I guess I just haven't. Guys, maybe I just need to be shown it. I just haven't seen that much sexism in my community. I just haven't seen it, you know? I haven't. If anything, I'm frustrated. You guys need to be more sexist. Every time I have a woman on and I disagree with them, I have to fight back against your guys' instinctive, chauvinistic desire to defend them against me, you know? I think the harm is even ironic misogyny can make people uncomfortable. Yeah, but that, I'm not going to lie, I don't know if I care about as much. There's a big difference between ironic sexism is worsening the community and ironic sexism is making people uncomfortable. Lots of shit I do makes people uncomfortable. There are tons of mannerisms that I engage in that make people uncomfortable. That's not an argument against me doing it necessarily. If you want, you can play the businessman and argue that I'd make like more money or get more subscribers if I tone that down a little bit. But I do value authenticity. I care about cultivating a good community though. So if I get the feeling that real harm is being done with this behavior, then I can work on it. But I guess I need to see it a little bit, you know? Growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. That's. Oh, wait, you mean other people's growth. Sorry. You mean growth. Okay, sorry. I thought you meant my channel's growth. Like, my channel can only grow if I'm uncomfortable with what I'm saying or something. I misinterpreted. Don't... Chat, I misinterpreted. It's... Yeah. Isn't people being turned off from the community harm? Okay, so should I stop speaking in a deep voice, which a lot of people accuse me of, like, should I... Some people say that it comes off as, like, brutish and masculine to them. Like, should I stop with the Pepes in chat because a lot of people associate them with the far right, like 4chan posting? Should I, like, you could do that, like, a lot. A lot of stuff I do makes people uncomfortable. Oh, should I stop ever attacking anybody on the left? That makes people uncomfortable. Should I stop criticizing tankies? That makes people uncomfortable. When I tell so-called land-back activists that ethnic cleansing is bad, that made thousands of people uncomfortable on Twitter. Should I, you know, like, to me, you know, I need to see, like, the harm. So, guys, I'm genuinely asking you, is there, like, sexism in my community? more so than the default nominative level, but like, is it a problem? If it is, then I'd like to see screenshots or something. Seriously, if you see like people being really weird about women, screenshot it and email it to me. I won't respond to you because I'll probably get a lot of emails. But I'd like to see it because I just, yeah, I just don't see it. I think so a little bit. There isn't a single sexist in the whole community of 400,000 people. Well, obviously, just as a numbers game, there are guaranteed to be a few. But I mean, like, is it a community issue? And I would need to see evidence to that. This is just why, like, some of this stuff bothers me a little bit. If you don't like the jokes, or whatever, that's totally okay. That's totally fine. That's fair. That's reasonable. But there are people here acting like I'm ignorant, or acting that I'm doing harm, or that I need to bring people on to compensate for some deficiency in the wokeness of my community. And that comes off as very presumptuous to me, because I don't think these problems necessarily exist. You're missing the point, I think? Well, you're free to type the point out. Yeah, what are these downvoted uh-oh. Wow. He's edgy as fuck, and that's why I like him. However, you're correct in stating his edge drives away people from the community. Why is this downvoted? Wait, what's wrong with this comment? Seriously? A person saying that he's edgy and they like the edginess, but also acknowledging that it's isolating or alienating to some people? That's... I'd say women are the least joked about group of people in Vaush's videos. Not sure what you guys are talking about. People, only true fans will know that I dunk on men pretty fucking often as well. Actually, I feel like when I dunk on guys, it's more sincere than when I dunk on women. Every time I talk about dating, I go into a 20-minute tirade about how all men are emotionally damaged and I would never want to date them. I feel like, if anything, when I'm given the opportunity to do so, I clearly have much more negative opinions about men than I do about women. But, yeah. Please move on. The Pandora Papers are 1,000 times more important. Do you know that? Do you know that for sure? You don't think this is going to make international headlines for weeks in a row? I swear I see this posted once a day, like, damn bro, have some humor in your life. I honestly wish he'd make more jokes about men. Shit's funny, TBH. Just laugh and move on, that's all. No. Deleted. Deleted? Oh, come on. Sounds like you're saying you want Vaush to speak for women, which I'm pretty sure is not what you want. No. I want that. I know why you'd ever think Vaush qualified to talk about these topics he has no expertise on. Wait! Stop! In the Haas gender panel, he did that. There's zero doubts he makes jokes consistently. Yeah. Wasn't I only making misogynistic jokes here because I was explicitly defending? Wait, the Haas gender Twitch panel. When did... I don't remember what I said there. I don't remember. Are you saying trans women aren't women? Because Vaush has done tons of pro-trans content. He has moved a lot of people, including me, further to the left of these issues. Damn, that gets negative 29 here? When I make these jokes like you, I'm called sexist. Tron Panda TKA, so that's because you are sexist. You fool. You have to be left-leaning. Your subreddit might have a problem? Yeah. I've been thinking of reformatting my subreddit sometime soon. You know? I gotta think about how I want it cleaned. Are they mad you don't talk about cis women more? I don't know. I'll end this here. If you don't like the memes, you don't like the memes. I take great issue with the idea that this is a product of ignorance or bias or bigotry on my part, especially when I ever talk about... Guys, I feel like every time I talk about gender issues, I end up going into a 1-hour video about how men are super damaged. You know, like, I have one video on toxic femininity, and the rest of it is like me talking about all the ways in which society has like harmed men and made them emotionally unavailable and like incompetent at like dealing with their feelings. I don't know. I don't talk about like the women's sides of it that much because like what do you want me to talk about? What women's issue? Abortion? Not only have I debated that a dozen times, I also raised $800,000 for Planned Parenthood. Do you want me to talk about parenting rights? I have. I'm clearly in favor of, you know, ending hiring bias when it comes to sex, potential pregnancy, allowing for maternal and paternal leave. I don't like what issue, right? I guess I just want to know like what issue, you know? Do you think your gender abolition stance makes gendered issues less important to you? I don't think so. You live with the, you know, what you're born with. Gotta work in the system you're in. Didn't you talk a bit about sexual harassment during Anime Rant? Every single time I talk about anime, I go into a screed about sexism. Literally every time I talk about anime, I go into this. I'm incapable of talking about anime without talking about the problems with sexism and pedophilia in the entire medium, you know? Women face a lot in interpersonal interactions, maybe tell guys to be less creepy to women. Have you watched my videos giving men dating advice? I feel like telling them to not be creepy to women is like a third of those videos, right? A ton of it is like, don't have any weird expectations, talk to women like they're regular ass people, just be friends to them and build off of that in the future if they seem interested. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like I touch on this stuff. I feel like a lot of people just hear me say femoid bad, and then they like infer that I don't talk about. I know not everyone can watch all the hundreds of videos that get put out, like 3 every day, basically. But your subreddit sometimes can't criticize Shu without being misogynistic. That's true. That's the only time I see misogyny in my community. When you fuckers on Reddit are talking about Shu. But the people who complain about Shu also complain about me, which makes me wonder if that's the DGG element. I know they're overrepresented in the Shu hate threads. Like that clip that was posted about Paul's ego shitting on Shu. I don't know what you're referring to. My community is sexist against exactly one woman, you know? What about, does anyone have a clip on that? What did Paul's ego say about Shu? I used to like Paulie, so frustrating now. I don't know what I even did to earn his dislike, man. I felt like we had a good convo, and then he started shit-talking me, and then we had a second good convo, and then he shit-talked me even worse. And I never shit-talked him at all in, like, that interim period. Thank you, Tempest.
Hold on. I want to trigger you with this, Paul. All right. I want to trigger you with this Shu on head tweet.
Why? I don't really care about Shu on head.
That's fine.
She's a stupid bitch.
Check this out. So, she's reacting to this article. It says New York won't extend unemployment benefits to healthcare workers fired over COVID-19.
Okay, guys, to be fair, I call people stupid bitches all the time. So, like, hold off.
Vaccine mandate.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't talk to her anyway, so she doesn't need to fucking worry about this. Because, yeah, I don't have no desire.
Hobbit. I mean, the community is extra critical of Shu because Vaush defends Shu's terrible behavior. I have made like 5 videos telling Shu she's fucked up. What do you want from me? I'm not giving her benefit of the doubt. Guys, you're going to have to accept this. Shu is going to keep doing shit you guys don't like, and I'm not going to change my opinion of her because my opinion of her is already informed by the knowledge that she will continue to do stuff that I don't like. That's part of who she is. We don't agree on everything, and I don't agree with her political strategy. Not in every way, at least. She's gonna keep doing it. It's like I have a friend, and my friend sometimes does dumb stuff, and every time they do a dumb thing, all the people around me are like, "That was dumb," and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "So when are you gonna drop that asshole?" And I'm like, "I'm not. I know they do dumb stuff," and you guys are like, "Okay," and then later they do another dumb thing, and you guys are like, "When are you gonna drop?" And I'm like, "No, I know she's going to do dumb stuff. I'm aware. I've known this for years. It's never changed. She's gonna keep doing it." I still think that the total consequential balance of the dumb stuff and the good stuff she does trends out towards our favor. But like people, that you've goldfish memories, you know. And every time she does something dumb, I criticize her too. I don't ignore it. You guys bring this shit to me, and I go over it on stream and pour over it and attack her. She's in chat. Seconds after she's in chat, she gets attacked. Oh my god, you people.
Unlike certain members of the fucking online leftist community who line up to simp for this little fucking ooh-woo factory, like I could give a fuck. So how about I just not talk to you no matter what I support, you dumb fucking empty-headed bitch. Dude, if the wind was... Dude, I hate this stupid bitch, dude. If the wind was blowing towards the alt-right again like it was in like 2007, 2008, this bitch would be making fucking trans people or men videos, and she's just like... Because that's exactly the type of person she is, dude. She follows whatever kind of, but she always remains like a radical centrist no matter where she's at. Fuck this bitch and fuck anybody that follows her and takes her seriously and platforms her as she shits all over fucking humanity with her stupid, empty-headed, bubble-headed fucking anime-inspired opinions and appearance. Fuck her.
Does she even watch anime? It seems like he cares a little bit. Seems like he cares slightly about Shoe on Head. I don't know. Are they talking about you? Well, he hates me, so he's probably insinuating me here. I don't actually think Shoe blows with the wind. If so, wouldn't Shoe have already kowtowed to any of my opinions? People are like, Shoe went left because Vaush is new BF now. What have I moved her on? She still disagrees with me on everything that I disagreed with her on 2 years ago. I haven't moved her over on any of these shits. Any of this shit. Is Shoe actually Nazbol? No. I think she does do the enlightened centrist shit a lot, but isn't that... Are you two even dating? No. Jesus Christ. Holy fuck. Didn't she get into a ton of disagreements with Armored Skeptic constantly? Yeah, I don't really think I was online back then. Do we have some Kiwi farmers in chat right now? Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, I think Shoe's pretty consistent, right? Shoe hates the government. Shoe hates journalists. Shoe hates corporations. And Shoe likes anyone who hates those three things. And then she'll ally with them. Then eventually someone will inform her that she's like pretty close to Nazis. And then she'll go, oh, whoops, and move away from them for a bit. And then she'll find another group of people who are dubiously far right, who also hate the government, journalists, or corporations, and get moved over there. It's like hardcore populist brain. But she keeps doing it, and she sides with the left as often as she sides with the right. Well, more often. It just seems like kind of a dice roll, you know, with like where the populism fucking roulette wheel will land.